Hi guys, hope you're well. Coming to you from Autodeutsch, Audi and Volkswagen specialist. So I've got another quick one for you today. This is an Audi A5 2 litre TFSI with a CNC engine. It's 2014, but that doesn't really matter. What we're getting at here is it's a 2 litre TFSI. And this is the same engine that's in A3s, A4s, A5s, A6, Golf GTIs, Golf Rs. In some form or another, it's pretty much the same engine, and the problem's the same as well. So with this one, this came in as a non-runner, would fire straight up and cut straight out, which you would think maybe a mobilizer issue, but there were no faults on the immobilizer. So we did a full diagnostic on it, and the engine came up with about 12 faults on it, all random spurious faults, throttle bodies, turbos, blah 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 blah. But there was one fault in particular that I was interested in, and the fault was P0642, which is sensor reference voltage A, circuit low. Now basically that applies to anything on the 5-volt circuits coming from the ECU, so it could be any 5-volt sensor, it could be any 5-volt actuator, blah blah blah, anything that's on the 5-volt circuit. This can cause a lot of different running issues. In the case of this, it stopped running, it wouldn't fire up at all. Some cars will fire up and run badly, some cars will fire up, run fine, but then won't have any power to move. It just causes lots of faults across the board. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. So what we found with this one is, again, I'm just going to do this really quick. I'm not going to tell you about all the diagnostic stuff we did, but the common issue on these is the thermostat housing. It's got an electric thermostat housing that's buried under the intake manifold down here. So it's a thermostat housing and water pump, and they're very common for leaking. Normally if you've got a leak on these engines, it's coming from there. But in this case, it was stopping the car from running. So we unplugged the main connector on it down here. I've already previously unplugged it, and it was soaking wet, covered in slime and sludge, and that's basically the problem on this engine. So we gave that a clean up, that connector, and hey presto, the car fired right up. Now obviously that doesn't solve the problem, that's just diagnosing the problem. So what we're going to do next is put a brand new genuine thermostat housing and water pump on it, straight from TPS. I'm very confident that connector we can just save it by cleaning it up. I'm going to check it all out, but worst case scenario, it's going to need a new connector wiring into it as well. But it does look pretty good. And that's basically it. So on this car, always check the thermostat housing. I'm not saying that is 100% the fault that it's going to be, because it, like I said, that reference voltage A can be anything on the entire 5-volt circuit. But very, very common on these 2 litre TFSIs. Check the connector for the thermostat housing, and if it's soaking wet through, that's your problem. So that's it. Thanks guys for having a check in. Give us a like and subscribe if it's been handy, and we'll see you next time. This is Dean from Autodeutsch, Volkswagen Audi specialist. See ya.